I complained to my mom, who took her side and said I was out of line for expecting her to wear something she didn't like. Oh, yikes, mom's the problem. He says he can't afford it anymore because he bought a house for my sister for $500,000 instead, which took his savings. All right, guys, it's time to read more of your wedding horror stories. And as I say every week, but this week is no different. I have so many stories to go through. So we're just gonna see what we come across and react together. A reminder, if you guys are a big fan of the Ferris and Sloan skit, I compiled it all into one full-length feature, I guess. We'll call it season 1, right here on YouTube. It's an hour and 20 minutes. So I don't expect you to sit and watch the whole thing, although some people have told me they have. But it is there readily available, and I'm currently working on a season 2. So get excited, but give me some time. I'm gonna get creative with some storyline things. Someone also commented last time to move slightly because it looked like I had a halo on, or I don't remember what they called it, but hopefully this helps. We have a fan in every single room, so no matter how I film, it's gonna look like that. Okay, let's just jump right in. Here is the story for today. Parents have been together for 40 years. For 6 weeks, I call my dad twice per week to make sure he's still okay paying the $30,000 for catering. Weddings are super expensive in Australia. He says yes every time. Are you sure? Because if you can't pay, we are going to go with the cheaper option. He reassures his excitement and eggs me on to go with the top tier caterer, as it's the only wedding he will have for his kids. He is mega excited. We've gotten most of the RSVPs back, so it's about 100 people. He is trying to buy a house for my older sister with autism, and she can rent to buy from him. His budget is $350,000. We signed the contract for the caterer and pay the 10% deposit, so only $27,000 is now remaining. The next week, I call my dad to tell him the update and that $20,000 is due in 6 weeks and the remainder is due the week before the final numbers. He says he can't afford it anymore because he bought a house for my sister for $500,000 instead, which took his savings. Uh-oh. I can't really be too mad about it, but I was confused as to why he picked that house. Turns out he was cheating on my mom and just bought the first house that accepted his offer because he was kicking my mom out to live with my sister and bring his new girlfriend in. Okay, I did not see that coming when I started this story. What? He cut my mom off financially, cleared all the bank accounts, wanted to live in the lower part of the house until the new house settled, where she would have to cook and clean for him, except the nights where he would go see his girlfriend? What? Oh my gosh. I flew interstate to put a stop to this. He would have to move out until we found my mom a new house, and he can forget about that new house. Never went through with the sale, so he still has plenty of savings. My dad isn't very smart with his money. He likes to be cash rich, but not asset rich. My fiance, who is working, and myself, who is studying, had to put our names down for a rental for my mom and sister, as my mom doesn't have income. I spent the money I saved for my wedding dress, $5,000, to help my mom move, pay bills, and eat. He has not offered to help my mom or sister once. It's been 6 weeks since the event. Do I still let him come to the wedding in 7 months? Oh my gosh. That's seriously not where I thought the story was going. I got like a little glimpse of the top and I was like, oh, this will be an interesting one. That is insane. Only having this context, I think I would be pretty angry with my dad if he did something like this. Whether or not you want to invite your dad to your wedding and have him there is ultimately going to be your decision. But the way he kind of screwed over your family, made you take from your own wedding savings, wanted to kick your mom out when he was the one having the affair, I would be like, sorry, why would you want someone there that has caused so much hurt in your family, promised to help you with so many things, like encouraged you to get the top tier catering? Yeah, this is really challenging. I personally would be like, nah. Because you also don't want that tension there too. If he's been treating your mom so poorly and causing you guys this much financial stress now, it's like, why would you want to bring that stress to the event? So my choice is no. And you also can't be mad about it. Like, I know earlier you said you can't really be mad about it. Like, it's his money. But he made a promise to you. Like, you constantly asked him to reassure you, like, is this okay? Like can you afford it? Otherwise, we'll choose a different option. And that's what's really hard about when you have someone helping, is if they are unreliable in different ways. They might not necessarily show it right away, but if they're unreliable at all, it's like you can't create then a contract for them to be like, hey, do you promise to do this? So that's where it's really challenging. Best of luck to you. I'm very sorry. This is a really awful situation. All right, and you guys know I usually can't stop at just one story, so I've got another one for you guys right here. Let's see how it goes. I have a sister that's 7 years younger than me. We've always been close, but my mom has always sided with her. If we've had issues, my sister's very spoiled, but we usually get along. When I got engaged, my mom insisted that my sister be my maid of honor instead of my best friend that I'd known since I was 4. I was 21 and my sister was 14. My sister proceeded to order a maid of honor dress on my credit card without asking me, and I hated it. It was short and gold. I got married in September. Yikes. Why does she have access to your credit card is my question. My best friend took me dress shopping the next week, and I decided I wanted the bridesmaid dresses to be long and navy. My wedding was in the fall, and the color scheme was navy and gray. My sister insisted that her dress be black so she stand out, and she wanted a short dress. We compromised on the long dress, but when my sister's dress came in, it was navy like the other girls. It was the week of the wedding when we got the dresses, and my sister told me the next day she wouldn't be participating because she didn't get a black dress, and she didn't like the long dresses I had chosen anyway. I paid for all the dresses, and it wasn't refundable or exchangeable. She was a size 0, and I didn't know anyone else that could fill in or wear that dress size. I complained to my mom, who took her side and said I was out of line for expecting her to wear something she didn't like. Oh, yikes, mom's the problem. I panicked and asked my best friend to be my maid of honor, and she agreed. My husband called one of his groomsmen, his cousin, and asked if his fiance would stand in as a bridesmaid. It was his cousin's birthday that day, but he took off from work and ordered a dress for his fiance to be there on Saturday. They completely saved the day. That is amazing. My sister showed up the day in a very short maroon dress and sneakers, and my mom insisted I'd let her be maid of honor. What is with this mom? She already dropped the ball, already said she didn't want to be in the wedding, already not following what the bride wants. A simple long dress. It's not that hard. My dad, who's always been closer to me than my sister, stepped in and told them that my sister was welcome to sit in the crowd, but that this was a good lesson for her, that not everything is about her and she can't always expect to get her way. Yeah, makes sense. We took photos together after the ceremony, and now that she's older and engaged, she's buying me 2 dresses for her wedding. I think it's so interesting when parents push a sibling so hard to be in the wedding, especially a maid of honor or best man. I was talking to someone not that long ago in a wedding consult, and they were saying that his parents were pushing for his brother to be the best man so hard. And this brother was completely unreliable, was not someone you could count on for anything. He had no responsibility, had many issues going on, and he was like, I want my best friend to be my best man, and they just will not allow it. And I said, well, are they paying for the wedding? He said, no, but they're threatening to not show up if I don't do this. Which I'm like, that's a problem in itself. Why are we threatening to not show up when we don't get our way? But those are the same people that are going to come online and say, he's so entitled. Oh, the bride and groom are making it about them. And just saying all these things. And it's like, but you're literally making it about you. You are saying if it doesn't go your way, you're not going to show up. And I see so many stories like this where the parents push so hard for their other child to be in the wedding when they know they can't handle the task. Whether they're really young or they're just not responsible, it's why are we pushing for that so hard? So I just find that very interesting when that happens. And this is a little lesson or a little message for you guys out there. If you are currently going through this, you do not have to have your siblings in your wedding, let alone the maid of honor or best man. Remember, these are people that you need to rely on. These are people you are close to. These are people that you want up there that are going to support you in your day. That's another thing too, is you hear they don't support them. They don't get along very well. So why would you want them up there? So just a little reminder for you guys. That's all I have for this week, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you've not subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe right here. And I'll see you guys next week with more videos. Bye now.